What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about one underrated feature in Hogwarts Legacy that I haven't seen too many people, in fact, I actually haven't seen a single person talk about, and that's okay because it gives me something kind of unique to say. I think the conversations in this game is one of the game's biggest strengths. And I actually mean this almost from like a technical side over the actual, say, quality. I'm going to talk about both, of course, but I actually think you could remove a lot of the story that these characters are saying, the characters themselves, their personalities. I think you could take a lot of that stuff actually away, and I would still be impressed with the way that they actually did the conversation. So what do I mean? Well, it's an open world RPG, right? This is an RPG game, and you can think to many examples of some very, very good ones. I would argue, though, even in some of the best RPG games, they can sometimes take a hit when it comes to conversations. There's some that do an extremely good job. I think the Mass Effect games, Mass Effect at least 1 through 3, personally to me, I could ask characters every single question that they have available, right? You go up to a character, there could be 6, 7 different dialogue choices. I'm talking just about you want to ask the character where they're from or what's going on in their life or, what makes them different from the other person you just talked to, right? Those kind of things. And I think to a game like Mass Effect, I think does an extremely good job of it. There's plenty others. Then I think too, and this is not saying this game is bad. I want to make sure I'm very, very clear. Horizon Forbidden West. It's one of my favorite games of all of last year. With that being said, they can sometimes get too deep into the lore and explanations. I think Horizon actually has a very deep and rich lore that I really, really like. I've read up on it just to kind of like keep up with it, I suppose. But when you go up to characters, some characters at least in Horizon, you could be talking to them for literally forever, right? They just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I would say when that happens, you're probably less likely to keep asking them questions. So we go to Hogwarts Legacy. Well, what makes Hogwarts Legacy so different? Well, the first thing I think that makes it different is there's actually not that many questions you can ask characters when you meet them. And I'm talking about companions. I'm talking about story, like the main quest mission people. I'm talking about vendors out in Hogsmeade or just out in like different boroughs. You don't really talk to them all that much. And what I mean by that is if you're talking about a quest person, let's say, you'll have the question or the prompt to advance the quest with them. And then you may have 2 to 4 questions. I don't think there's been a character I've found so far in this game, and I've talked to a lot of them, that have, say, more than 4 question mark prompts, right? Which are literally questions. You'll ask them different things. You don't have to. You can skip it, but that seems to be the max. There's nobody with 12 of them. There's nobody that has that many prompts to them. Now, okay, well, that's just on the surface level, right? That's walking up to a character and you see the different options to talk to them, right? Now, what also makes Hogwarts kind of special? Well, again, it's not actually dissing games that have 10 different prompts. Sometimes they do an incredibly good job at going through it and really building out the lore. I think Hogwarts does that without needing to. That's actually why I think Hogwarts is so special as a game, is there is lore, there is backstory. I feel like when I meet these characters, I learn just enough about them where I know their personality. We don't need like a 30-page book essay on them. We really don't. And I think that they do it really well. So when you click the question, another thing that I would say makes this game quite different than other games is they keep it short and sweet. When you pick something and you ask them, normally I'd say maybe the average response is 10, 15, 20 seconds. It's extremely short. And the character that you're asking the question to, again, whether it is a merchant, whether it is a main quest giver, right? Any of these things, they can answer your question in 1 to 4 sentences. That, again, will take 10 to 20 seconds. And that's it. Then you're done. Then you'll go on to the next thing. It's possible you could be playing this game, get distracted for just a couple of seconds. Your dog is barking or something happens, and the character has already answered your question. And now that's not guaranteed to be a good thing, right? Again, I think what makes this game so special is you kind of combine all these elements together. There's nothing wrong with long answers to questions. If it's exciting, if it's something that connects to you as a person, if the game is good, a little subjective there, right? But you can get away with it if everything kind of works. Hogwarts, I would honestly say, goes a different direction. It relies on kind of a short but sweet mentality where They know you're not going to get that many lines of dialogue with these characters. They know instead of asking each character 6 questions each, you're asking characters 2 to 4 questions each. That's less. Obviously that's less, right? But that's a lot less. That's less time and less options for you to pick to be able to learn not just about these characters, but what are you really doing there? You're also learning about the world. When you're meeting some of these side quest givers just out in the world, they're kind of telling you how things are going. Ranrock's loyalists are doing this, or Rookwood's doing that, or you're kind of building it out. And you could tell us an essay on it, or you can kind of keep things pretty concise. And again, neither of them are necessarily bad options. It's as long as it works, as long as they actually can get their message through in that amount of time. And I think Hogwarts does it extremely well. There is a little bit of biasness, though, I will again admit to, that I have played a lot of RPGs where the answers are very long, and you're sitting there for an extremely long time with these characters. Again, not saying that's the worst of the 2 options. However, it is nice to see a game like this every so often where you can talk to these characters and they really don't take that long, and you still get something from it. I still feel like there's some really cool side characters. Not all of them. I'll be honest. There's some that don't stick with me. I can't remember their names, right? But there are a lot of them that even though you ask them 3 questions, you still get a little personality. You still get a little backstory to them. And that's a writing quality. I would credit the writers for that, for keeping things short, but you got to make what you say count. And then I would also give the decision to whoever decided it from like a design standpoint of, we want to keep things kind of short but sweet. Whoever that person is deserves a raise, I would say, as well. So let me know. Let me know if you guys kind of noticed that. It was something that I noticed quite early in the game where it's like these side characters or main characters, they don't talk that much. These conversations aren't going on for 10, 15 minutes. They're keeping things, short and concise. I saw that really early on. I was thinking this is kind of different than most RPGs that I've played in recent memory. So let me know if you noticed it. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.